On today's DNVR Buffs Live, Merry Christmas, first off, to all who celebrate. Happy launch day for EACFB 25. We got a commitment. Quanell X Farrakhan Jr. committed to Colorado. Damione Lewis, the new defensive line coach, what Travis said in his game with Shedeur yesterday, and a whole bunch more. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Merry Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas. Oh, if only Christmas only came once every 10 years. Right. What is even better than Christmas? I don't even know.
It's crazy. Welcome into the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. It's DNVR Buffs prime time.
Think of all the conversations we had.
Yes.
Of not believing this day would ever come.
Mm-hmm.
That was like less than 6 months ago.
I know. That was in like February.
As you can see, I classed it up today. I had to put on a collar as I will be accepting the position as head coach of the University of Colorado later today. So, it's a new era for me. I'm in my head coach era.
Are you ready?
I've never been more ready for anything in my entire life. All right. And I do appreciate everything Coach Prime did for the program.
Wow.
But, it's my time. It's my time.
Wow.
All
right.
He gave me his blessing.
And you were named successor.
And I respect his decision to step away from the game.
Crazy. Only about a month and a half before the season, too. Yeah. What a move. Yeah. Oh, man. We'll get into all that. And we're going to do something tonight, too, to commemorate this great day, this historic day. Yeah,
we will be we're going to play each other in the game right here from the studio, I think. Around 4 o'clock, so keep an eye out for that. We'll try to be as entertaining as Travis and Shedeur were, and I will try to beat Jake just as bad as Shedeur beat Travis.
Wow. We'll see. We will see. I'm officially back, man.
Just in life?
Yeah. Well, first in life, yes, of course.
I haven't seen you smile like this in a while. So.
But two, I haven't been a football gamer for a long, long time.
It's true.
So I'm fully getting back into it, and I am probably going to put in like an absurd amount of hours this week.
Yeah, I am too. I don't know if Allie's quite ready for it. And I don't think I did a good enough job preparing her for it.
No, she's like asking you about dinner and shit tonight.
Yeah,
and you're like
yeah. It's like, I don't know. I probably should have. I don't know if she knows how much this means to me.
Right, I'm sure.
And that's on me, not her. What else was I going to say about this? Dang, I lost my train of thought. I don't know.
Well, let's just get into the show.
Follow me on Twitch.
All right. Follow RK on Twitch.
Twitch.tv/RK_DNVR.
All right. There you go.
I'll tweet out the link as well. After we do our thing tonight, I'm going to be winning a national championship with the Colorado Buffaloes, and you guys can follow along on Twitch. And I'll be, just talking Buffs with everyone who's tuned in all night.
Can't wait.
And for the rest of time.
As the head coach, those are your duties.
Exactly. The head coach, I'm required to speak with the media and
yep.
all that good stuff. So I'm dedicated to all of my duties.
Wow. What a guy. We got a commitment over the weekend. First off, shout out to Scott. Scott came in on Friday and just absolutely killed it.
Hell yeah. He's a real one.
He is a real one. He's going to be back very soon. But Quanell X Farrakhan Jr. is officially a Buff, the 4-star wide receiver out of Houston, Texas. committed on Saturday. Did you watch the commitment, by the way?
Yes.
Did you almost like have an accident or something? Because it was...
No, but I saw Coach Riz tweeted that he got a little scared there for a second.
I did.
I don't know. I was really, really confident.
I mean, so was I.
I knew what was happening. But when you see the Alabama hat, it is a bit intimidating.
He literally said, I will be committing to the University of Alabama. And I went, oh, my God.
Yeah. And then he did the same thing with Texas A&M.
Yep.
But I had heard on pretty good authority that he is going to be a buff. So I wouldn't have panicked until at least like 3 seconds after he said it, if nothing had happened yet.
Right. I mean, I kind of knew too, but still, like, that was a heart and throat moment right there.
He's a buff, though.
He is a buff.
And probably the best name of any buff in a while.
Do you call him Q or X?
Why not QXJ?
QXJ?
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll workshop it.
QXFJ. It's a lot of letters.
But he is now the fifth player to commit to Colorado after that weekend on June 21st. Of course, headlined by Julian Lewis. And we talked about on Friday, after this, it's pretty much focusing on Juju time.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about recruiting Juju is when you recruit Juju, you're actually recruiting a plethora of players. You're recruiting the entire Juju package. And that comes with quite a few guys who really want to play with him from everything that I've heard. So obviously you're showing love to guys all over the country and there's targets everywhere, but you know that getting Juju Lewis is turning on the faucet for a much greater recruiting class that will follow with him. Forget what On 3 or 247 want to say. He's one of, if not the top quarterbacks in this class. And there's a lot of guys out there that he has relationships with. There's a lot of guys that want to play with him. There's a lot of guys he's been on visits with that want to go where he goes. As it relates to his rating, it's kind of funny, the whole ratings things. And I'm just going to share two things that I know to be true. One, I've worked for the recruiting services, so I've seen a behind the scenes of it. At the very beginning of my career, I was there, and so I wasn't high up in the company or anything, but I did get some sneak peeks. One thing that I think you need to know: no one has more pull in these rankings than coaches. Coaches are incredibly influential because they can offer something back to the service, right? Which is information, scoops, all of that. So what happens is coaches will reach out to their, person that they talk to there and say, hey, I need this guy to be this. And it's not, they don't have an unlimited amount of bullets that they can use there, but they do have a few depending on how much influence they have, which is like, hey, help me out here. This is my guy. Trust me when I tell you he's a 4-star player, or he's, you need to give him a second look when it comes to making your top 100 rankings or whatever. Yeah. And a lot of times they'll get their way. That's a fact. This part what's the word I'm looking for? This is a bit of a, I'm taking my own, thoughts on this. So this I don't know for a fact. USC just lost 2 5-star players, right?
Yes.
In a week. They cannot afford to lose another 5-star player.
Yeah.
From a branding perspective, from a optics perspective. So in the same way that coaches call and say, hey, I need you to bump this guy, I don't find it to be a stretch at all to think that a coach could call and say, hey, we're about to lose this guy. I cannot lose another 5-star. I need you to drop him down to a 4-star.
Right.
Is that not... I don't think that's hard to believe at all.
No.
The other thing, and the reasoning for why these places claim to be, dropping Juju is because of his size.
Right.
And because he's not a running quarterback despite being on the smaller side.
Yes.
Simply doesn't matter in college.
No, it doesn't.
And I realize that when they make these 5-star recruits, they're trying to kind of say, like, this guy's a future NFL starter, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
And I think Juju absolutely could be that. We've seen undersized quarterbacks succeed, obviously, in the NFL time and time again. And he's, what, 6'1"?
That's what he's listed at.
Yeah. So he's really not that undersized. He's just not big. And so, you have the Bryce Underwoods and the, what was his name? Antoine Hill.
Yeah, him, I think Keelan Russell's another big guy.
6'4", prototypical size. So they're saying, well, he's not big and he's not a runner. Is he really a 5-star? What they're ignoring, and what makes it funny that they're dropping him, is when was the last time he played a football game? Months ago.
Yep.
Months ago. And when he did throw the football at these camps, what did he get? Nothing but the highest marks, praise. He's the most accurate passer here. This, that, and the other thing. So the recruiting rankings always change because it creates buzz. They're always going to move a guy up, move a guy down because that gets people talking. But in the end, if you watch Juju Lewis play football, which is what we're talking about here,
right?
He's arguably the best in the country, and he's certainly top 3.
Definitely. That's what he would have been the number 1 recruit in next year's class, in the 2026 class, if he didn't reclassify. That's where he was.
Yep.
And you don't automatically become that to the 50th overall player, overnight.
No.
That just doesn't happen. So, yeah, he is what he is. We all see what's going on here, and I think we all expect him to eventually, put on the black and gold and join this recruiting class.
Yep.
And it's one of the reasons, and it's the primary reason why this could be a top 10 class this year for Coach Prime and the Buffs. Because when we talked to Dukes, he said, as soon as Juju commits, decides where he wants to go, the next 5-star is going to want to join him. And Matt H., our guy on Twitter, put this out today. Corey Phillips shared a post to his IG story that features the number 1 consensus DL in the 2026 class and the number 1 linebacker in the 2026 class, 2 5-stars, Jakeem Stewart and Tyler Atkinson. As he said, they're going big game hunting.
I truly believe that if/when Juju Lewis becomes a Buff, we're going to get a Fab 5 effect, which is what if we all teamed up? And what better place to do it than at Colorado with Coach Prime?
Yep.
With all of the culture and everything that's going on there, and I don't think, again, that's a big stretch to imagine that happening. You get one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback, and you've already got one of the best receivers in the country committed, one of the best offensive linemen in the country committed, and I just think there's going to be this network effect of everyone being like, what if we did?
Yeah.
It's the same thing as the Miami Heat.
Right.
What if we did pair up? And I think there's a great chance that there's going to be a wave. And we said top 10 in the headline. I think that might even be conservative for where it could go.
Absolutely. So that's 5 of 7. It's Juju and Evan Haynes, the 2 recruits who have yet to decide after visiting Colorado on that official visit weekend. But as it stands right now, for Juju or whoever it is, for next year's quarterback, you're looking at a wide receiver core that could have Quanell X Farrakhan, Terrell Timmons, Omarion Miller, Cordell Russell, Cam Michael, Draylon Miller, and that's just the start.
Crazy.
This isn't even portal season yet.
I know. Yeah. It's going to be a special skill group that's only going to just keep getting stronger, I think.
Well, Coach Prime talked about it as soon as he got here. That's his strength, is recruiting skill position guys. Yep. He's built 2, it's going to be 3 classes now of strong skill position guys with the portal as well. It's just, it keeps stacking on top of itself.
Well, and then you start thinking Jordan Seaton.
Yep.
Chauncey Gooden.
Yep.
Heck, Hank Salinskas is going to be I think he's redshirt. Did he keep his red shirt last year?
I think he did.
He
only
played in 4 games.
He started 2, I know. I don't know if he played in 4.
Okay. Either way, either a sophomore or he'll be a sophomore next year.
Yep.
Most likely.
Well, then Zach Owens, Peyton Kirkland.
Exactly. I'm saying the skill positions I think are always going to be there, but quietly, and one thing that just no one outside of this circle pays attention to is like they've been building class balance on the lines.
Yes.
And especially on the offensive line, they're not going to be like scrambling to rebuild this thing next year. Like they're going to just keep adding to a group that already has a lot of pieces.
All right, let's take a break real quick, and then we'll touch back on this. Shout out to our friends at UC Health. We're going to all be very busy over the next weeks, months with this game. Don't neglect your mental health.
Amen.
And UC Health wants you to know how important mental health is and encourages Coloradans to live their healthiest lives through statewide initiatives. They got a bunch of stories up on their website. One of their patients, David Schlicht, is a Colorado teenager who shares his story about being active outdoors. He's a prime example of someone taking care of their mental health for today and tomorrow. If you want to learn more about David's story and more inspiring stories from UC Health, you can head on over to uchealth.org/tomorrow to learn what it means to live like there is a tomorrow.
Also, shout out to Toyota. Love my Toyota. And I just can't say enough good things about Toyota. I truly have never had an issue with my Toyota. It's unbelievable. The only time I've ever had to get it serviced in any way was when someone broke into my car and just shattered the window.
Yep.
So it's an unbelievable car, an unbelievable company that has done a great job of supporting us, as you can see on our microphones here and in the Toyota studio, Toyota Lounge, I should say.
Yes.
But beyond that, the car is just fantastic. I can't say enough great things about it. So when you're going to get your Toyota, which you absolutely should, visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe in Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of CU Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR.
So you mentioned the offensive line, but if you go to the defensive line too, there's guys like Sam Okunlola.
Yep.
There's guys like Quincy Wiggins.
Yep.
Like these are blue chip guys who have 3 years left after this year.
100%.
And they have a new position coach now.
They sure do.
Is new even the right word? He was just finally promoted from a formality standpoint.
Yeah.
Colorado officially promoted Damione Lewis to coach the defensive line. Sal Senseri is no longer with the program. Of course, Coach Lewis, 10-year NFL vet. He joined the staff as an assistant, but he just signed a 2-year contract to be the defensive line coach. This was first reported by Brian Howell of the Boulder Daily Camera.
Awesome. Good for him. I can't remember if I said this before, but fun fact, and I think I'm going to get the number right here. Mm-hmm. So someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Well, what pick did the Broncos have in this year's draft? 12, right?
Oh, my God.
Yes, they did have the 12th pick. They took the 6th quarterback with the 12th pick.
Yes.
Damione Lewis, 12th overall pick.
Yep.
You know who else was a 12th overall pick?
Oh, man, you're putting me on the spot.
His counterpart,
Warren Sapp?
Warren Sapp. I guess his colleague on the defensive line. So 2 former number 12 overall picks teaching these guys how they can become a top 15 pick in the NFL draft. We talk so much about the NFL experience on this team and in this coaching staff, and I just don't think it can be overstated enough. And I thought Shiloh did such a good job of explaining it as it related to his own personal progression. And it was like, Coach Kelly was one of the best college safety coaches there was. Yeah. And, he taught me so much. But I want to go to the NFL, and Coach Livingston comes in, and he knows everything that it takes to get to the NFL. Yeah. And you have to imagine all of these guys feel that way. The same thing could probably be said of Sal, right? Mm-hmm. Great college defensive line coach. Very impressive background. Has worked with some of the best. Now you're with Damione Lewis and Warren Sapp. Those guys are taking a professional approach to everything they do and everything that they teach you. Mm-hmm. And, I just, it reminds me of like in high school, did you have those like special classes? They were like AP classes or IB classes. Like those were like college level courses. Yeah. So when you went to college, they were supposed to be easier. And I only took like 1 or 2 and I was way in over my head in high school. Mm-hmm. But when I got to college, I was like, oh shit. This actually is a lot easier now that I had taken a course in that. And I feel like that's what these guys are doing. They're taking AP college football.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's going, or I guess, AP NFL.
Right.
and it's going to prepare them when they get there. And they're going to be at such a head start when they get there, as opposed to their peers who haven't had that level of coaching. And I think it's going to go a long way for them on the recruiting trail, but also just this season for these players.
Mm-hmm. I agree, man. I mean, you just look at all the NFL talent on this experience on this roster, on this coaching staff, and if you're a recruit and you want to, and your ultimate goal is to make the NFL, I don't know why you wouldn't consider CU at this point.
I have no idea either.
All right, let's hit some of the drama then, because our guys, Travis and Shedeur, just being kids, playing some college football 25, kind of joking, going back and forth.
First of all, just watching that is honestly such a great reminder of how much of kids they really are.
Yes.
Like, just the way that they're playing and talking to each other is like, if you watch that thinking anything other than like, oh man, this is like two guys just having a blast.
Right.
Then you've got it all wrong.
You need help.
Yeah.
So basically what happened was Travis ran himself into a sack, right? And the chat is like asking him, is the O-line realistic or whatever? And he goes, yes, very realistic. They can't block for nothing. Obviously joking.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes. And joking about last year too.
Yes. But people, I mean, not even people, like SportsCenter, Barstool, Bleacher Report, like the big names throw this out there going, Travis Hunter trashes offensive lineman. What a shitty teammate, blah, 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 blah. It's insane.
It's beyond insane. I feel like I'm living in like fantasy land or whatever the opposite of that is.
I agree.
Like, all logic has left the building.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times. I mean, I don't think there'll ever be a time where we just get to stop talking about this on our show.
Not.
But I really wish there would. But like, we do have, someone has to say this stuff. And a lot of times I feel like it has to be us. But it's like, how ridiculous can we get? Especially with Travis, who like everyone has accepted as like the nicest guy ever.
Right.
And like an elite teammate and all, a great person. He has a 4.0. It's just crazy to see the way that people will twist and turn to try and make a story out of something. Was it? I don't know. To me, it's like if one person clipped that and posted it and it got some traction, I wouldn't have really thought anything of it.
Right.
But every single outlet going out of their way to aggregate it and make a story out of it is like, we really?
Yeah.
Like, really?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know. We're living in the upside down.
We really are. It's so ridiculous. Shedeur has to go on Twitter and like put out a tweet that say obviously Travis was joking and stuff. Like, it's insane. Also, and someone had the comment.
And like, let's just say even he's being 100% serious about last year's team, and people are like trashing his teammates. It's like he made a joke,
right?
Like it was like a 1 second joke.
Yes.
Not trashing teammates.
Right. Which the quarterback, who is being protected by these guys sitting right next to him, just laughing at it.
It's insane.
It's an obvious joke. Someone had the comment, you always say crazy stuff when you're losing in these games, and it's true.
Oh, dude.
It's true.
So true. I was like worried about Travis there for a minute. He had steam coming out of his ears.
He was getting beat down pretty bad, bro. But he rebounded. They had a few close games after.
Yeah, I saw the one where he threw the pick six on the last play. Like, obviously, he would have had that one if he just nailed it down.
Yep. What else do we got? Alyssa, I sent you a picture if you could pull it up here in a second. But we had Tyler Brown, Jordan Seaton, Justin Mayers at the Offensive Line Masterminds event.
Yeah, and I think last year it was just TB.
Yep.
Well, speaking of TB, he just posted a video of himself squatting 675 pounds today. Which is like I can't even comprehend. Yeah, exactly. But shout out to those guys, man. Shout out to OL Masterminds for putting on the event. Another thing where it's just like this is the benefit of having the pro influence throughout the team.
Yeah,
you had all of the guys at Von Miller's Pass Rush Summit. You have these guys at the OL Mastermind Summit. Like. It's just there's unique connections that Coach Prime and the people around him can bring for these players that simply no one else can. That doesn't mean no other college football player could have gone to this, but I just mean on a large scale. You can talk to anyone. You can get into any event.
Yes.
You can be anywhere.
Yeah, you get to rub shoulders with NFL vets, with guys who just went through the draft process. You know, I think like Zion Johnson was there, and someone posted a picture with that. That's a guy who's only been in the league like 2 or 3 years. You get to talk to coaches, like start to build those NFL relationships and stuff. It's such a massive advantage.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, just one more thing on the Travis thing, and like, I understand why, but it's just so ridiculous that like that goes more viral than like the Mike Gundy comments or
how about what's happening
in Georgia, like the just complete disarray of like every player doing something wrong in the car.
Yeah.
And I get why it is, because it's tabloid shit, you know, and that's what gets people going.
Yes.
But it is just absurd that like people will kick and scream and, you know, point fingers and light torches over a joke in a video game versus like a head coach saying he's driven drunk 1,000 times.
Right. It's crazy, man. Do you have that scoreboard picture, Alyssa?
No, where did you send it to me?
It's in Buff's assignments. But the finishing touches being put on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and so just a matter of time before we get to go play College Football 25 on there, right?
The AD said it, man.
Yeah, Rick gave us his blessing.
Well, we're ready, Rick.
We are ready.
He posted a picture today, too, of the ribbon boards inside the stadium.
Yep.
Those are up and going.
They look very nice. One thing that I hadn't considered, and I thought Rick was going to say it when we were talking to him, but he went in a different direction. That board, it's not massive by any stretch of like, you know, what some of the insane video boards that we have out there right now, but it is a lot bigger than what they used to have. I think it might actually hold sound in a little bit. That's the most open end of the stadium that's now closed off a little more.
Yes, you're right. Sorry, Alyssa, I didn't send it.
Oh.
Thank you. I was going to call you out. But
No, that's my fault. I'll try and pull it up right now.
we're doing some stuff too.
But
Okay,
anyways.
just go check out our guy, Jimmy Searfross's Twitter. There's a bunch of new pictures. on
Well,
there.
and Rick.
And Rick's Twitter as well.
Rick has the inside picture of the banners.
He does.
Do you want to know how seriously I'm taking my role as head coach of Colorado in CFB 25?
Please tell me.
I officially retired from the Madden League.
How does that feel?
Crazy, man. 8 Super Bowls, like 14 AFC championship or conference championships, several MVPs. You know, it was a good run.
You're just a legend of the
But-
game.
You know, it's time to head back to college. You know, where I can really mold young minds, have an impact on young people's lives, and you know,
Shape
as
the
I
future
always,
of America.
Yeah, exactly. Shape the future of America, which is just really important to me. You know, I always tell these parents when they sit down with me, like, you give me a boy, I'm going to give you a man. And
See, you can't take over for Coach Prime and take all of his recruiting pitches.
I'm off the Coach Prime coaching tree. You know, that's where I learned.
Fair enough. Before we hit this break here, you wanted me to remind you of something for today.
Yes. If anyone has any connections with the RV industry, let me know.
There you go.
Also, a couple other notes. I went to UFC
Yeah, how was
in Denver
that?
on Saturday. Unbelievable.
It was only just a fight night, though, wasn't it?
It was just a fight night. But it's the first time I've ever been there. Sold out, which I feel like Denver deserves another event if we
Yeah.
can sell out a fight night. It was just so sick, and we had unbelievable tickets. And yeah, I want to be back for that. Also saw our guy Snelson,
Yep.
and a few other people in the creative department down there. But we still have to get our golf match set up
Yes, we do.
with Snelson. And then last thing, before we left Vegas, I went to the Sphere.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone needs to do this.
Okay.
This needs to be added to your bucket list.
Uh-huh.
Like, you have to go to the Sphere.
Yes.
It might be the greatest thing that technology has ever done.
My question is, how come when you posted a picture of Red Rocks, everyone assumed that you had never gone to Red Rocks?
Dude.
Because you posted the picture of the Sphere.
Dude, That was one of the.
crazy.
I muted the post because it was making me so mad.
I completely get it.
Like I haven't even looked at it since like Friday morning or whatever. Because I was like, what is wrong with people?
Bro, you started getting like quote tweeted from other people I follow over the weekend and stuff, and I was like,
that were like hating.
yeah, they were like, imagine the real thing, and it's like, what are you guys talking about?
I was literally at the Real Red Rocks when I posted that less than a week before it. Like I've been to the Real Red Rocks. I'm not saying it's better than Red
Right,
Rocks. Like
right.
I'm just saying this was a cool visual, and it's also like one of a billion that they did. You know, and like I think people thought that like the whole concert was supposed to be like set at Red Rocks or something. Based on the picture, it's like they showed that for like 12 seconds.
That was one of the craziest things. That was like Coach Prime CU football levels of manipulation on social media. It was insane.
I couldn't believe it. I think like the Sphere Loki has haters.
I think it does.
And then there's like this weird like defending Red Rocks thing of like Red Rocks is the greatest music venue in the country and all this stuff, which it probably is. I haven't been to them all, but I was just like, this is a cool thing. Look, they're showing Red Rocks at the Sphere, and people were like, this is an outrage. I was like, what is going on?
It was insane.
Anyways, go to the Sphere. I honestly had the time of my life, and it is like absolutely nothing else you could experience anywhere. So if you get the opportunity, do it. I sat in the 200 level. If I could do it again, I would probably pay the extra money to sit in. I would stay in the 200 level, but sit right in the middle. That's where it's like the most immersive. So I might try to go back for another Dead & Co show before their residency ends.
All right. Shout out to our friends over at Bet365, the Goats. That was cool.
Yeah, that's new
I
feature.
didn't know we had that. My favorite book, honestly. They got their early money line payouts. Unfortunately, all we have is baseball right now. So I don't know, what is it, 4 or 5 runs, something like that. But when football starts, it's 21 points. Bet on big favorites. As soon as they get up 21 points, that money line cashes no matter what. No matter if the other team comes back. We also have a sweet offer if you sign up with the code DNVR365. Deposit $10 and you're in for their bet and get offer. All you have to do at this point, place a $5 bet on anything. As soon as it cashes, whether it hits or misses, you will get $150 deposited into your account in bonus bets. You must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
Also, make sure you check out all of our DNVR events that are going down. Big one right now would probably be the Kickoff Classic, our last golf tournament of the year. So make sure you keep an eye out for that on social media and book your foursome. To me, like probably 3 of my favorite days of the summer is those golf tournaments. So yeah, check that out. Sunday we're having a CFB 25 tournament here, and I believe Circa is giving away 3 all expenses paid trips.
Yep.
To go out to Circa.
Yep.
Am I eligible so I can go back to the Sphere?
I don't think you're eligible, bro.
Anyways, you guys can come win that. A lot of great stuff going on. I think there's a live Broncos show going down. Something like so. Yeah, lots of good stuff. I think I'm on that.
Well, there you go.
I'm just trying to take life one day at a time right now, you know?
On July 21st, that is on... Oh, you're doing a show on Sunday, too, I guess, then.
Yeah.
Oh, 6-day work week. Welcome back to the season, bro.
I'm just a content creator, man. This is what I do.
But yeah, check out the events calendar on thednvr.com.
All right.
Just a few more things to touch on here. Let's do this first. Your Big 12 Media Day takeaways or official roundup. We kind of hit ours on Friday, Scott and I. What do you have?
I don't know where to go with this. I have so many thoughts. All right. Start here. The Big 12 has work to do.
Yes, they do.
If they want my advice, I'm always here for it. But it's kind of like when you're on the golf course with like someone you don't know. You're like, I'd love to tell you some advice on your swing, but I'm not going to do it unless you ask.
Right.
So I have thoughts on that. And I will say it's not just us. I talked to a lot of people who are at the event, and there's just a general feeling of, I don't know, could have been better.
Absolutely.
I'll leave it at that.
Yep.
Second, I mentioned this on the show, but I don't think there's any like intimidating players in the Big 12.
No.
Which I guess isn't great for the conference, but is good for Colorado.
Taj Brooks was big. Tedero McMillan was big.
Tedero McMillan was the most impressive looking player I saw.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, that's an NFL player just walking around in college right now.
The K-State edge we talked to was pretty big.
He was, but I just mean like, they didn't have aura.
Like when Caleb walked in last year. Like
and Bo Nix walking in. Michael Penix, I was like, damn.
Yep.
Those are some players.
Yep.
I don't know. It was interesting in that regard.
Yep.
In the final one, and I don't know exactly how to explain this, but like, some people just like aren't wired to be able to talk to and understand Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, Shiloh Sanders. That like, and I guess I have to give a little bit of grace because I think it is something that you just learn. But like Shedeur saying that they know that they're every team's Super Bowl being taken as like some sort of wild quote. I feel like we just did this, but like, what are we doing here? Like, it's 100% true.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, it's not even a flex. It's actually like a bad thing.
Right, because you got to be on your A game
Yes.
week in, week out. You can't have a down game.
Yes, it makes life harder on them. It's not like some sort of like, we know we're the best team, and so there's a target on our back. It's like, no, like, because we are who we are, we generate the type of buzz that we generate, we know that everyone brings a little extra to the field when we play. And I don't think that's really anyone's fault other than the fact that they just are who they are.
Right.
And because of it, a lot of people are interested in what they're doing, and everything they say gets blown out of proportion. But I guess that's just what I mean by that. Like, when you or I are talking to these guys, we just like know what they mean.
Right.
And when you get a bunch of people who have never talked to them before all around, I just don't think they understand them.
The way I think of it is like if we had them on our show and like Shedeur said that on our show, is that even like a clip for us
Absolutely not.
that we'd put out?
It's one of those things that we're like, yep, that's obvious.
Yeah, right. We shake our heads, agree. Next question.
It's
Like,
such a good point. We would not have, I can guarantee with 100% certainty we would not have clipped that.
right.
And so that I don't know exactly how to explain it, but it's just like, it's almost like I would understand if they didn't want to do that
Right.
because of that type of stuff, but I just don't think they care anymore. And Shedeur talks about that a lot, just like not caring what any of these people say. But it is just an interesting thing of like, I don't know, you just get all these people standing around pointing their phones at them, listening to them talk, and like something's going to get taken out of context.
Right. And then this is what I told Neely on Thursday when we talked about it. I was like, being there and then like, because it came out like the day after, like that's when it really started to pick up momentum. It was like that Wednesday night we were traveling back like into Thursday morning, and then it really started to go crazy. But it just put into perspective for me. Like I was there. Shedeur said this thing. It's literally just like a passing like moment type of thing, like where no one even thinks about it, but it just goes insane online. And it's, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense, honestly.
It's just the old, like you hear what you want to hear.
Right.
And I think everyone's probably guilty of it in one way or another. Some people, I think that people that are mad online are more vocal about it when they hear what they want to hear.
Of course.
So when you're a hater of Shedeur and Coach Prime and just the Sanders family as a whole, and you hear that and you're like, oh man, he thinks he's the best. He thinks they're the best team in the world and everyone cares about them. And it's like, that's not what he was saying at all. He's saying that when teams see us on their schedule, they get up for the game because of everything that comes with playing Colorado. You're going to have probably your most viewed game. If you're on the road, you're going to definitely have your stadium sold out, like et cetera, et cetera. And that's what I tweeted about it. I was like, these people who comment on every single CU post and whose team stadium is only sold out for their home game against CU are jumping up and down right now saying this isn't true, even though they're the reason why it is true.
Also, do these people have like short-term memory loss? Like, do you not remember the first 3 weeks of last year when this team was literally the talk of the country? Oregon's head coach, a top 10 team at the time, literally focused on ending the story or whatever it was. Like, of course they're everyone's Super Bowl. It's not even close, man.
Yeah, but if you want to take it out of context, you can. And that was kind of just I don't even know how to frame that takeaway, but I think I got my point across.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we will touch on Paul Finebaum, I promise. But first,
did you see it?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't even. I just see the comments talking about it, so I haven't seen anything.
So this came out over the weekend from Nick De La Torre of On3 Sports. I'm pretty sure he covers Florida for On3, and it's about Cormani McClain. He put this post on their message board that said, I was told that Cormani has been late to most of the requirements, meetings, lifts, etc. The way that it's handled is sort of like a strike system. Essentially, you get a warning. You have to do the extra run/lift, which he started to show up late for as well. They started to make that defense, or they started to make the defense, and then the rest of the team, or the defense, and then the rest of the team do these extra lifts thinking that Cormani would show up on time. He hasn't. You're not going to be liked in the locker room if your tardiness/immaturity is causing the rest of the team to have to run. Goes to what I said about him when Florida took the flyer on him. Just immature, needs to grow up. It's sad, honestly.
Yeah, let me just start by saying I really, really, really hope that Cormani figures this out.
Mm-hmm.
Truly.
Yes.
I would have no ill will if Cormani became an all-conference player and a first-round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hope that for him.
Yeah.
The only point I want to make about this, and to me, I don't want to have anything to do with. I don't want this point to have anything to do with Cormani, but is that everyone blamed Coach Prime,
Of course.
for what
and
went
the
on.
culture.
Yes, exactly, for what went on with Cormani, and what the players were trying to say without saying it, and most guys try to avoid throwing their teammates or former teammates under the bus, but a lot of the guys were in the spaces or in whatever platform they were on were trying to say, like, we tried everything to get Cormani going, and it didn't work. And the people that we were talking to behind the scenes are like, Coach Prime pressed every button that he knows to press to try and get Cormani motivated and doing things, and it just wasn't working. And that's why, again, another thing that people were mad about when Coach Prime said with us in our interview with him was like, we weren't the right ones to get Cormani going. I hope that they are. I hope that the next place is, because I guess I don't even think he had committed to Florida at that point, but I hope that he finds the right place to get him going. So my main takeaway from that was just like, this is unfortunately what was going on at CU, and it obviously was not a fault of this coaching staff.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a very talented football player, but I think he just needs to grow up a bit. Just needs to realize you got to put in the work to get what you want out of this thing, especially in college football. Like, that's as far as you're going to go, is as much as you put in. So, it's a shame to see, a young kid this talented not being able to put it together. So hopefully this is a wake-up call, but after so many wake-up calls, there's not much else you can do.
Yeah, I like I said, I'll keep rooting for him. I know, like, a lot of people have pointed out that he kind of like took some shots at the program on the way out.
Whatever.
I just chalk that up to like him being a young guy trying to find his way, and maybe saying something he shouldn't have. But truly, I'm being 100% honest when I say I hope he figures it out, and I hope that he's able to live up to his potential.
Agreed. Anything else? No?
Questions?
Well, first, it's EA College Football launch day. What are you doing when you boot up today? First time?
First thing I'm doing...
Because I don't even know what I'm going to do, honestly. I might just cry at the main menu.
So I'm going to save, like, jumping into Dynasty mode until later tonight, when I can hop on stream after that dinner we talked about earlier. So I probably won't do that. I think I'm just gonna like go to the roster and look at CU's roster and just like take a moment to kind of go through it, and then I'll probably hop online, play an online game.
Damn, straight into online.
Maybe practice mode for
not
a
even
second.
a play now.
No.
Wow. Yeah, I think a lot of familiarity with the playbooks early on. A lot of getting to know rosters. I'm kind of the same with you. Like when I start my dynasty, I want to start it and just like I want to get through that first week and like everything, like try and learn as much as I can.
It's gonna be like binge watching a TV show.
Right,
Like I'm not gonna just watch one episode and step away. Like I'm waiting until I can watch a full season.
Exactly. Beyond hyped though.
Yeah, man, great question. So I saw something that said you can't edit anything about current players. Do you think that applies to gear?
I don't know.
Because I gotta get that.
Saying he wants.
I gotta get that arm sleeve on Shedeur. Also, I assume they talked to Travis about this, but like Travis having full length dreads is kind of weird.
Yeah, I think that's just one of those weird things where Travis does have like the longer type of hair right now, and it's like it obviously doesn't show too much under his helmet when he's wearing it, but it's like, well, if you're gonna have the long dread type or like dreads type thing, you're gonna have to just like sacrifice it some areas.
Yeah, right. I think they probably gave him the choice. You can either have short hair or long hair.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just excited to get in there and just peruse around.
Yeah.
I'm very scared that the EA servers are just gonna crash immediately.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying, like, play now, practice mode, like rosters, playbooks.
It's not a bad idea. Did you click the game just to see what would happen?
I've
last
done it
night?
like 10 times. I did it like 10 times.
I did too. I was just like,
did you guys see the thing about trying to change your Xbox to a different time zone so you can try and get it there?
You have to. What you have to do is you have to create a profile that's based in New Zealand to make that work.
how does that make sense? Because it's all based on Eastern time.
I don't know, man. That's just how I know you could make it work like back in the day.
Someone tweeted that at me today as well. So
yeah.
maybe that's real. We've got
40 minutes.
43 minutes. 43 minutes. Part of that has to be us getting home. So
Yep. All right, let's go to questions then. Luis says, Jake, are you on Twitch? Yeah, I need to like update mine and stuff. It'll probably just be Jake DNVR though. I'll tweet it out when it's up.
cool.
Ayo, it's Grizz. When do the Buffs reveal their jerseys? I doubt anytime soon. Bro.
We have no idea on this. A lot of people have been asking. I think it should be noted that last year Coach Prime just let it go right up to game time.
Yep.
Is when a jersey was revealed. I'm not going to question Coach Prime when it comes to marketing and and that sort of thing. I hope that they do like a reveal each week though, just because it'll do numbers.
Of course.
And obviously a large reveal of the whole thing would make sense to me. It's a great way to get people talking about Colorado in the dead period that's right now until the end of July. So I think there's a chance that something could come up, but I have no idea. And also, a lot of people have talked about the uniforms in the game being the old ones.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard that they will be updated eventually when the new ones come out.
The game is going to be updated quite a bit. RK, what is your first team speech headlines? Walk us through it.
Tune in. RK DNVR on Twitch. You're just going to have to see it yourself. But I will say this.
We need a formal address. I need you to put like an overlay with like microphones in front of you and stuff. With like the CU
I think we're
board.
we're gonna have a press conference for me, accepting the job.
Excellent.
And,
Cannot wait.
wear my cowboy hat in honor of my mentor, and all that good stuff. Actually, I was thinking about that. I can't get a cowboy hat on and my headset. It's kind of a problem.
You'd have to get a big cowboy hat.
That's true. So yeah, tune in twitch.tv/RK_DNVR.
Next question is, what's your theme music?
Again, just gonna have to see it. We'll see.
Okay. All right, let's do this. Yolanda Sells Nashville Home says, "What did y'all discuss already? The latest ESPN take from Paul Finebaum? Ouch. His words on Colorado were
Yikes emoji, I think.
Thankfully, RG3 comments help with the perspective. First off, who cares about what Paul Finebaum has to say?
I don't know.
Second off, he's wrong because we already talked about what he was talking about, saying that Colorado is not every team's Super Bowl. He called them completely irrelevant, said that there's no way that they're going to get to a college football playoff with Coach Prime because he doesn't think that Coach Prime has the patience, one, to stay here, and he obviously doesn't think that they have the ability.
I'll just start with the irrelevant thing, which is just blatantly incorrect.
That's what I'm saying. It's just wrong.
At worst, you could probably say they're the third most relevant team.
They're top 5 easily, for sure, yeah.
I guess, yeah, you could. I don't know. You just have to look at the numbers of what people are watching. And, relevancy, I guess, can be debated on what it means. But to me, it means like you're standing in the ether, which Colorado is at the forefront of everything. No one is talking about what. I haven't seen any clips from someone else playing EA Sports college football and what they said.
Nope.
Colorado is as relevant as just about anyone except for probably Georgia.
And also, Heather Dinich sitting next to him when this is going on. She's a hater, too. ESPN, full hater mode.
Yeah, there's just going to be a lot of words that get eaten eventually. But the relevancy one is just like, that sounds like you're mad. You know when you're mad and you start saying shit?
Yeah.
And like you're kind of just trying to be hurtful even though you're incorrect.
Right.
That's what it feels like to me, is to say that Colorado's irrelevant is just blatantly wrong.
My guy is at SEC Media Days talking about Colorado. Point blank.
There you go.
That's all it needs to be said. QJ, will the game be updated through the season like Madden? Yes, it will. Much more to come. On to Super Chats. East Coast Kev first up. He's got a couple. Did you guys see Paul Finebaum on ESPN spewing his Colorado hatred? I thought On 3 was bad. Yep.
I got to see this. It's going to help me get motivated for my speech to the team tonight.
East Coast Kev, don't forget Jay Norvell's sunshine. Did you see this?
Bro, yes.
Let me finish reading this. Don't forget Jay Norvell's son chimed in on Travis Hunter and Shedeur's comments. I hope Colorado puts 70 on CSU.
All I could think about when I saw that was Billy Madison. It cuts to him, and he just goes, O'Doyle, and in this case, Norvell, I got a feeling your whole family's going down.
For sure.
What the hell, dude? I actually saw a CSU fan say, like, our athletic director needs to get a handle on this. It's embarrassing.
Most coherent CSU fan ever.
Of all time.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on here, dude? You guys are so out of pocket with this shit. Nothing can compare to Kim losing her mind, off 3 glasses of wine and some perks. But this is just like, they didn't have a family conversation about shutting the hell up.
Look, man, a lot of things get said about Colorado and how Coach Prime controls his program. At least he controls his program.
Amen, man. Just absolutely wild. Then you also have Norvell. I don't know if you guys talked about this at
No, we have not talked about this. Let's go, though.
At Mountain West Media Day, like trying to compare Braden Fowler Nicolosi to Shedeur. Did you see that?
Well, and he said that K-State, who just got their highest rated quarterback recruit of all time, offered BFN $600K.
He said that's what BFN told him.
Right.
Which is another way of saying I got finessed.
Does this not just sound like the CSU Mesa guy or whatever the hell CSU? What was that?
Oh yeah.
The D2 guy.
Yeah, no, it sounds a lot like it. But I'm just saying, if I were a player, I'd be telling my coach that another school offered me $600,000 too.
Because you're bargaining for NIL.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So that was wild. But then he's like, "Oh yeah, I heard that Shedeur had the best season in Boulder history." Blah blah blah. I guess
our quarterback would have set a CU record.
Yeah, it's like, well, first of all, Shedeur throwing in the Mountain West to throw for about 5,000 yards.
He played in 1.5, probably 1 3/4 less games than BFN too.
Then you should mention that Shedeur in his entire college football career has thrown 17 interceptions. Braden Fowler and Nicolosi last year, 16 interceptions.
Yep. Insane, man. Jared says, Coach RKA, give the people a pregame speech.
I can't give away everything, You've got to get the people over to the new platform. Come follow me on Twitch. It'll be fun tonight.
There you go. Mr. Hillsman with the massive super chat. Thank you so much, man. It says, been a minute, but shout out to all the DNVR folks behind the scenes. Appreciate you, Mr. Hillsman. A true diehard. Been here for a long, long time.
This was fun, man.
Yeah, this is the first time you did a show in forever.
Since last Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, couldn't you see all the energy that I gleaned
I know.
from that time?
I loved it. It was great.
I feel like we're just entering like a new era of life right now.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Shedeur compared himself to Joe Burrow the other day, too.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, man. I've got a tweet right here that says Daniel Jeremiah says Travis Hunter has Garrett Wilson-esque traits at wide receiver,
Wow. Yeah.
which Garrett Wilson was compared to Justin Jefferson coming out.
Ooh, great point. What did I see about
We know
Justin
ball here.
Jefferson this week? I forget. Anyways, it's going to be a fun... I mean, honestly, we're like good until fall camp now. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on from now until fall camp. Excited to be doing it with you guys. Again, if you know any people in the RV industry, hit me up.
For sure. We'll be live at some point later today and every other day this week.
I want to see what my Twitch following went to during this show.
Also, did you know today we are 2 weeks away from the start of camp?
That's what I mean. It's like we got 2 weeks.
Yep.
Hey. All right, we gained 12 followers on the show.
Nice.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I gotta mess with
No,
my
15.
Twitch account.
15. Good job.
I'll tweet it out today, though. I don't know if I'll stream today, but very, very soon. Anything else?
Oh, last question. Did you see the Load Holt interview?
Not yet.
I heard Uncle Neely had a great one, so we'll check that out later tonight.
Yes, that's the one where he asked Load Holt about Tyler Brown. And he
Oh,
said,
yeah.
strongest player ever.
6:45.
Yep.
All right. Love you guys. Go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.